Hi guys, welcome back. Tom Anderson again with another fun painting, keeping it simple, I hope. Breaching for the stars. What about that? You got a nice orca whale out here. Let's see if we can get the magic white up here and get that white on here so we can blend that background in. So I'm going to use this up on the canvas, a small brush, kind of get across here as fast as you can. Get it on. All right, you want to spread that paint out really well. Go around your orca. If you hit it, don't worry. I drew this one on. I didn't cut something out this time. I drew it on and then I just sprayed it with a fixative to get it in there. Okay, so I'm down on the palette. I'm getting more white, spreading it out. I'm going to get this up here just so I can get it all of it. Now, at some point, you got to rub some of this off because you might have too much. So let's get around the orca. You can go over the edge of it a little bit. I'm testing it. Look at that. Look how much paint I have on my finger. So we want to wipe some of that off because if you get it on too thick, it's very hard to control your values. So we'll just take a paper towel, rub it down a little bit. I just went over the edge of that. See? That's good. Make sure you spray that really well because you'll lose your image there if you don't. If you hit the pencil and you didn't spray it, you're going to lose your image. All right, guys, let's just drop into alizarin crimson. Don't panic. Bear with me on this. Don't get all in a panic, but watch. I'm going to put some red all over the place like this. And our CEO at the Alexander Art Company decided I better start with a lot of color. So if that's not enough color for you, we better check it out. So I'm going to spread this out. You're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Tom, that doesn't look like the painting up there. Well, hold on to your britches for a second. You'll see. It will. But what's a good color to add to this? I could add violet, or I could add phthalo green. Now that's the scary color because it's green. You're thinking, oh no, the sky's going to be green. I'm grabbing phthalo green now on the palette, and I'm going to put a few dots up here like that. Watch me now. I'm going to start blending into this. And maybe, if we're lucky, maybe this will start turning into a gray. We just have to rub it in and mix it right on the canvas. If your arm gets tired, take a break. It happens. You see how gray that's starting to turn? That's a fast way to do it, huh? Put it right up on the canvas. Now, if you don't have enough red in here, obviously it's going to turn, it's definitely going to turn on the green side more. So you've got to have enough red up there. You can add more color in too. It looks nice, huh? That's a nice, because we got to have the color in there, you know? All this stuff has to look good. When you look at color first, you feel happy. All right, let's get a little bit more of the alizarin crimson. Put some more down here. We got stuff to cover. So I'm going to pick up some green, and I'm going to put it up here. And I'm going to spread it around and mix it into the red. If this doesn't turn gray enough, I will, and I mean this, if that's turning grayer, I will add more red into it. Well, let's see what happens first. First of all, first things first, right? So just spread it out. Keep going. Keep going. Come into your whale just a little bit. See, I don't have to do the same colors there. You can invent your colors, you guys. You can do this in violet. You can make this a sunset if you want. Do whatever you want. Okay, going around the whale. Like I said, I hand drew this, so it's like a little different than when you draw it out with a pencil. Let's add a little more alizarin to that green. There we go. Look at that. I'm going to drop, see in the picture, that horizon line's lining up with his nose. And I got a different idea here. I made the canvas longer instead of vertical. So I'm just going to invent something that's a little different than the photo. Can you do that? You've got artistic license, right, you guys? You can do whatever you want. I'm a brave person, huh? I just take it on and do it myself. Just go for it. And we need a little bit more alizarin because when you're down at the bottom, you have to be darker than at the top. So I'm going to add more. That gives it more perspective. And I'm going to get a little more phthalo green in there. I'm going quick today. I don't know why. I'm moving like really fast. All right, so let's rub this in deeper. Look, we got darker, a little bit lighter, and then we got a dark mountain back here, and then we got the sky. You could put this, oh, how about if you had a big moon right here? Ooh, that'd be cool, huh? Or a big wave, going in like that. You never know. All right, so there we go. We're kind of in. We got I like the phthalo green in there. It gives it life. So let's kind of blend that out. I'm a little high over here, huh? On that corner. All right, so let's just leave that for now. Let's go to our fan brush. All right, now I'm going to change this up. Watch. I'm going to take alizarin crimson, the fan brush, drop it down here, add phthalo green to it. More alizarin. I just want to keep it in the violet color, violet gray. Green, phthalo green. Pat your brush. Let's go up and map out the mountain area. Ready? So I want to just do this. I'm a little bit on the red side. I got to get the green in there. You'll see it though. When I finally get to it, you'll see it. Maybe I'll only use phthalo green and alizarin today. Let's see what happens. You never know, huh? Oh, see that got a little greener? Look. But it is turning kind of grayish, violet, watch. Scrub it across and it gets foggy up there. And let's bring it over like that. See, that's starting to turn kind of gray-green. Let me borrow this violet. I mean, the alizarin. Sorry about that. Let me borrow that alizarin. Now, see the bottom area down here? I've got to establish the horizon line like that. Can you see that? Go right through, kind of measure that out like that. Now I'm going to put that brush down, and when I get around here, I want it to be more hazy down at the bottom. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to haze it up. I'm trying to get everything in very quickly. Pull that out so you don't lose it. You can use an art wipe if you mess it up. You can always go back to an art wipe. Okay. So I'm just moving along, trying to get it down and around the animal so you can see it. And there. Nice. Okay, I think it's okay. Hit that corner. Now watch this, guys. Ready? X stroke across your mountain range. Just blur that out a little bit. Then you can come in and do something else with it. Watch. Take this up in the sky. Blend it out a little bit. Make it hazy. I'll show you how to get white in there later. Just kind of fuzz it out. Now, you really can't see much going on right now because everything's looking a little blurry. And that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that. All right, let's leave that for now. Okay, so I'm going to grab my fan brush and wipe it off. Now I can clean it too with some medium. Let me grab some medium. Now look, if I show you my fan brush, it's going to look kind of grayish. Let's take some white, put it here so you can actually see it. I'm going to put it here and mix it in. Watch. Can you see that grayish color? It's nice, huh? So I want that gray. So let's go back up to the canvas and let's get a little bit of a light gray in the sky back here. Because this is in the What do you call this area back here that we're looking at? This is the northwest where the whales are. So you're going to put this in the sky like that. See? This gray color, kind of in a gray haze. You got a little bit going over the mountain. It's kind of fuzzy like. Do that. Wipe off your brush again. You're going to get some detail in, but hold on. You stay in this kind of a gray color, coming out of that base color right there. You'll float up here, look, float around with cloud ideas. You're in a hazy area in the sky. You could do a little bit more of that up here so it looks a little bit different. If you need some dark, you can go back to dark too. All right, so now you're working this out. Do little pitter patters in here too, so it looks a little different. You want to rough it up a little bit. I'm going to grab a little bit more of that, not too much, and I'm just going to get some of the hill line showing up. Now, you really can't see much of this in the picture, but you should probably invent something in here that looks like you got a background. So you got to take a little bit of artistic license with it. Do something like this, bring in a little more dimension here. So you know you're looking at a hill back there. So picking that gray up, trying to invent a little bit of the hillside so that it looks like you're literally looking into the distance at a hill in the background. Now, so you're going to come down like this and around. You see I'm patting it out like this and just patting the paint. You can soften that too while you're at it. You can add more dark here if you want. Look, touch some of this and bring it up. Look, just come back in and reinvent it. Look, touch a little bit of this in the mountainside like that, and then go back up and reinvent this. See, it gives you more interest. Everything gives you more interest when you play around with the paint. And go like that. Look, see how nice that was? So I'm trying to slow down, but I love painting this stuff. So it's kind of hard to do it. Maybe blend that out a little bit with your fan brush because you don't know what that's doing. But does it look like it's far now? So I touch this red up here, look, see, on the mountain range. And then I just put the color up here to give it a little shape and difference. See, it looks a little different, right? How about the corner? Maybe I'll grab some of this, put it in the corner. Did I do enough of that for now? Now, I'll show you another little trick. I'm going to take your big brush and do this. Just don't even take the paint off. Just kind of soften everything down just slightly like that. Just kind of pushes everything far away and gets it a little bit blurrier. So you're trying to create a haze back there. All right, we're done with that. Let's wipe off the brush. And we're going to add more white to this. Watch this, guys. We're adding more white. And we're going to lighten up the background where the water is back here. And we're just going to use the fan brush to lighten up the water. Now I'm going to probably bring it up just a little bit more. Like that. I made it an executive decision while I was doing that. A little bit more white. Come across here. A little more white in the paint. Come across here. Drag it out like that. Now you're going to cut in lines of light like this. You're just going to go across and give it sort of a water look. Sort of like that. You don't have to get any details yet. A little bit more of this light. Get more white. Come across like this. And at a certain point, you're going to have to tell yourself, when are you going to stop doing that, Tom? Well, you see, I'm getting the water idea in. I don't really have the whole idea yet, but I'm getting the water idea in. That's the key here. Okay, then you can blend this real soft like this. Look, just back and forth. Hit that corner there. Pick this up a little bit. Drop it in there. Blend it a little bit like that. Don't blend it too much. All right, let's go to the whale. I'll finish the bottom part later. So I'm going to grab some medium. Got Alexander's Magic Clear with a little burn on burn just to help it dry quicker. Okay, so I'm going to get that dark end. That's alizarin crimson, phthalo green. Let's map in the dark. I've got the alizarin in here on purpose because what that does is it it draws out the warmness of the animal. Okay, so I lost my little circle there. I'm going to have to try to figure that one out. There you go. I have to just lay a little green in there. I didn't even have violet today, huh? Usually I grab violet. I have to lean forward to see this, you guys, on the canvas. All right. Go down, out like that. And then let's draw this in like this. There's a nice little point to it. And up like that. I like that. That works pretty well. A little more alizarin. Okay. Let me drop this on the back. Before I do that, let me just fill this in. I'll draw along this line and that line. And that was fun. See that? See how the red color in the animal looks better than just having just a cool dark color. You got to put that warm in the body. Got to get that warm color in the body. Okay. And it's also setting up the next stage. That's the reason why I did it. Got to revamp that. I kind of got a little carried away there. Let me fix that. Just get a nice smooth look to it. There. Every orca looks different, by the way. Some of them are thicker, some of them are thinner. You know, you constantly have to build paint up. So there it is. Got more. Let's put the fin on. It goes up that way, and there's a little bit of a turn there, like that. It's very reddish now, so I need more green in it. So I'll get a little bit more phthalo green in there. Back down to the palette. Looking pretty good, huh? Already. If you've lost your drawing because you painted a lot of color over the drawing, just go back and wipe it off with an art wipe. You'll see it. I'm trying to refine that edge right there. There you go. That was kind of giving me a trouble. You know what's interesting about orcas? This just hit my mind. The fins are always different. Sometimes the fins can be a little bit more bent over, or, a lot of different things going on with an orca. Let's see. Here's my line. I kind of lost it with the blur there. Let me see what that is. I'm going to have to draw this down. Now this is where I have to draw with my brush. So there we go. Slowing it down. There you go, Tom. Ooh, that was a close one. It looks good though, huh? Got him in. And we're going to add this in. I'm using a small round brush. This is a number 2 round brush. Underneath here, we need shadows. Shadows underneath. We have to have the orca in there. Have this stuff going down or it won't look right. Okay. And I'll show you something else now. We need to do a couple extra things. Are we having fun? All right. So I'm going to wipe off the brush pretty vigorously. And I want to keep it light there, but there's a slight tinge of yellow in there. I'm dropping it down here. And there's a tiny, let's put a little bit of permanent red in there. Now I'm going to add more white because the orca's body isn't pure white. If you really look at it, there's a little bit of a tone in that white area. It looks kind of good white, huh? But there is a little bit of this yellowish tone in the skin, in this part of the body. So I'll put a little bit in, like so. Okay, that's pretty good. See that? Now I'm going to wipe off the brush. So you got to get that little tiny tone in there. Let's go back to white again. I'll get the top one on there in a minute. So I'm going to just get pure white. I wiped off the brush, drop it here, keep it close. Now let's put the white in around that. Okay, got it in. There you go. And at the outer edge right there, tap into that orange just a little bit, that orangey color. Pull this down. Now it's going to get darker in here, but I need to wet it up first. Draw that in. That looks pretty good, huh? So a little bit more of this white with the yellow in it, just a little bit. Now here I go to the top, where I lost it in my drawing because I put so much gray up against it. Good. A little bit more right here into the color. And then down like this, little nuances of that. And I need a little dark in the middle of that too, look. See, I just wanted you to know that's what's happening right there. There should be some light from up here. Hold on a second. Go around my pencil a little bit better. Now, when I'm working with my advanced classes, we don't go like this. We don't go really fast. We kind of take our time with things. And you can really draw things really well if you just slow down. I do need to bring this up a little bit over here and pull it over just a little more because I'm a little bit off there. And I didn't see that when I drew it. I didn't see it, guys. But now I see it. I can see clearly now what I didn't do right. All right, I'm going to put a little more white in that because I kind of ruined that edge right there. And then blend that out. Now on the top, I'm going to make it just a little rounder. Okay, so we're almost there on the whale. Hold on. I just got some medium dropped in. I'm going to go a little lighter on the top of the orca and round this out just a little bit more. Is that better? Looks much better, huh? I'm going to get this looking a little bit better. Because whenever you revamp something, you got to kind of go back in and fix it. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of this dark, drop it down here. I want a little more red in there. I think it'll just look better. That color underneath the whale's body with this darker color. And I'm going to put a little bit of a tone underneath it. See what that does? Okay, that's underneath the body. I'm going to blend that a little bit in a minute. I'm grabbing a little bit more of this. I like the redder color in there. It just looks better. And underneath here, it's got more shadow. So I want to make that happen. And it's a certain amount of it. There's not a lot of it, but there's a certain amount comes down like that. The light coming actually from that direction. And you don't really see a lot of light in here because it is overcast. So, but you do get little bits of that light all over. Looking good. And I'll blend this a little bit, guys, so you can see it better. All right. I'm trying to get rid of my pencil line too. There, right up against the pencil line. Did you see that? That's getting tricky. Now watch this, guys. I can't just leave that there. I've got to blend it a little bit. So I'm wiping off the brush. Same brush though. I'm going to come back here and sort of tap the edge of this grayish tone out that I have there. Just make it look softer by tapping it. Now on the outer edge of the muzzle part of the animal, there's a little bit of a dark line. It's very small, but it has a sort of a roundness to it right here. Hold your breath, come out and around, and turn the brush a little bit like that. You see that? That was a tricky move right there. That was a hard one. So I'm going to grab some of this into here, but I'm going to put a little bit more alizarin on it. I want to get it kind of at a lighter gray, violet gray. Look at it. Today we're only using, what are we using? Phthalo green and alizarin crimson. So ready for this? So now on the upper part of the whale, up here, I have a lighter tone at the top. Okay, and it goes down this way. See how nice that is? Okay, and there's a little bit of that spot right here. I think I'll put a little bit more of that dark back down in here to help it. Now I'm gonna wipe off the brush and blend that before I blend the other stuff. See, I'm trying to not do too much because then if you get overboard, then, you know, reaching for the stars, you guys. Is that what we're doing here? Reaching for the stars. That's nice, huh? Oh, breaching for the stars. That's the actual word. Let me blend this out before I go further. Reaching for the stars. Tapping it, just tapping it, guys. Tap it in the water too. You probably won't see it gray on gray as gray. And I need that dark down in here, look. That looked good, didn't it? That looks kind of good. All right, now I'm going to wipe off the brush, and I'm going to come back and tap this too. Watch. So you're just going to tap down into the body a little bit, erratically. You're taking the light and the dark, and just tapping up and down, like this. See how when you blend a color into another? All right, how's that guy looking? Pretty good? Pretty good, huh? Now you can grab a dry brush. Let's see what I have over here. I got a small one. Take this brush and see if there's anything else you want to blend, because part of painting is learning how to blend. Let's blend to this a little bit more. Let's blend to this a little bit more. I might want to wipe that off. I don't want to go too far with it. Just tap and flatten it down. Look, just softly blend it in. Like so. Nice touches. And right here, you can go a little darker if you want. Oh, he's looking pretty good now, huh? You like him? I love whales. I just really do love whales. We took a trip to Canada, and we were on a ferry, and the whales were there. They were popping up and out of the water. It was awesome. I'm going to grab the same brush I just had. I was talking to him. See that, you guys? Look what I'm doing with the white here. Watch this. I'm barely touching this. Ah, that's nice. Look at that little movement. White. A lot of that falling off the back, going down this way. And a little bit of splash down at the bottom, by the way. Up against the body. I kind of give it a little splash there. I don't know if you like that. A little bit more white. Something different is going to happen in a second. Watch. Oh, I hit that pretty hard. I'm really touching this light. But yeah, some of it's going this way, and back this way, and down like that. That's nice, huh? You like that, you guys? Now, underneath the whale, there is a bluer color because it's in shadow. So he's breaching. So, but the problem is he's breaching to the point where it's bluer down here. So I got to add a little blue inside there. It's kind of in a shadow tone. That's what I'm trying to say. It's sort of a light blue like this. Ready? Let's try it. Well, let's get underneath here. Yeah, see the difference? And you almost can't see it in that gray because it's not showing up. But yeah, it's falling off his body this way. That's nice, huh? See that? Give yourself a little pat on the back if you do that stuff. Now I'm going to switch back to my small brush because I just saw something I want to clean up. Here's white back over here. I just want to make this look a little bit better. I might have it a little too large. That's better. See, just go back on things that you didn't do well. If you didn't do something well, don't panic over it. One of the things I try to teach my classes is not to get panicky over anything you mess up, because you can fix it all. That I wanted to make look a little bit better. Maybe if you want that to arch up a little more, come in with a little more light in here, maybe on the body. Drop this in a little bit more. Let's see why, I don't know why I'm not getting much of a reflection, but I'm going to drop this down and just see what happens. Yeah, I'm not seeing much of that, but I should do it. Just for the heck of it, right? All right, let's leave that. I'm going to dip into my small brush, into the medium, pick up some medium, drop it down here. Are we enjoying this painting? Is this painting fun? Or does it look like anybody wants to try this one? A lot of people are trying to get on and paint the paintings that we're doing. Crimson, phthalo green, and build this up a little bit to a dark. Now you got your medium there, so I need a few more darker ideas of waves down here. This is just going to cut them in much quicker and easier than using a smaller brush. So we just want to get a few of these in like this, kind of connect it all, maybe a little touch of it back here. You don't want to overdo it. Always get your darker waves in a little bit later. This one I don't like. I'm going to knock that down flatter and maybe bring this out a little bit more right there. And just drag across. See how those lines in there are making the painting better? Like it's helping. A little bit more green in here. I see more red popping up than green. So here I'm just going to get a little more experimental. I'm just going to keep doing this. Watch. See how fast I'm doing this? Just to get the water moving. We got a lot of action in the water, you guys. Is the Orca standing out well? Is he like popping off the canvas? Can you see him really well? Nice. And we'll get back to more waves in a minute, but we need this in the water just to help it look better. Sometimes you got to do this stuff, you guys. A little more alizarin. I had to back away from the canvas too. That's very helpful. What is the heck is going on? We used only blue with the extra color. I probably didn't even need it but you know what? You got to have that bluish tone down in there. All right, look at that. See, that gives it more action. Then you can blend this a little bit. Look, blend it down just a little. And over here, I'm kind of neglecting that, but I do that a lot. Pull this down if you want, and then blend it that way, but don't lose it all. All right, let's wipe off the brush. One thing I would like to do with the small brush before we go on is I've got this little glow around them, but if I grab this small brush and kind of body, I meant to do this earlier, then it looks a little more refined. Now you see the difference there? Look, I'm dragging some color in around them a little closer. So it looks like I could have gone over the whole body, but I might have lost the whole image there. That looked a little bit better, huh? Like he's more in the picture. But you know, a lot of times you take a photo of somebody, it does have a little bit of a haze around it. I'm going to wipe off the brush. I'm going to pick up white with a fan brush, drop it here. And there's some foam action going on down here. I'm just going to start laying in little bits of foam like this. Make a little swirl if you want, down like that. Come across this way. Break it up so it's not all the same. Okay, I'm going to pick this up, guys. A little thicker foam right here. and dragging it across, little bits of foam right there. This helps the painting too. Can you see that? You got to have all these elements in there, the light and the dark, the dark and the light. And I'm grabbing a little bit more paint. And this one has a nice little sharp edge to it. Watch this. This foam comes out and then it turns and goes this way. Got a little perspective in here. Then you can do little pats like that. Pat it around, tap it in, soften some of it. I hope you guys try this painting because people will love this painting if you paint it for them. You can give it as a gift, you know. A lot of things I try to do up here, I try to get you to think about that stuff. I'm going to make that a little wider. Do that. At least I showed you the method. I think that's the key here. I showed you how to do it. And that's what I want to do. That's why I'm with Alexander Art. Reaching for the stars, see? Reaching for the stars. Now I could do one more thing just to show you a little trick here, in case you didn't think about it. Look at that. That looks pretty, huh? I love whales. See, when you love your painting, you can paint better. That's a fact. I'm putting a little more foam on here, a little thicker because it looks better. I've lost the design of this foam. Did you know that? When I was doing that, I didn't even know I lost it. There you go. A little different move there. Now, I'll do one last thing and then we'll sign it. Watch this, guys. I'm going to wipe off the brush really well. And then I'm going to show you what to do to some of this foam action. If you grab a little bit of your darker slurry, that's your burnt umber inside of your magic clear, a little bit, just add it, that'll get it darker. You can go underneath the foam and make it look like it's lift up a little bit. So watch this. Just take a little bit of this darker color and get underneath here, just a little bit. And that raises up the foam a little bit. Now you can use a liner brush. You can stick with your fan, and then blend it a little bit after you do this. See, look. Get the dark underneath here. Wipe off your brush and blend it a little bit. It makes the foam look like it's got more action in it. Let's try that. I'm wiping off the brush, and then you just take this across and soften it down a little bit, like that. And that, see, we tried to do that in the other painting we did the other day. And then blend these out at the edge. Look, pull these out while you're doing it. Look, see how the foam stuck up a little higher? At the end here, just do this. You don't care. Blend this out a little bit. Blend that out, blend that out. Touch the edges. I have more of it down here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll get a little bit more. Get it in like that. Do some more extra lines. Look how, see the foam's got more dimension to it. Dark under here. Because you got to have more dark down here anyhow, because that's the problem. That's part of the issue is getting your darks lower. As you go in, the level of dark here, then lighter, then lighter. So lighter back here, a little bit darker, a little bit darker at the bottom. May want to get a few more streaks of dark up here underneath the whale. And then we're going to go ahead and sign this, you guys. And now I'm being very careful. Look, I'm using a real artistic skill here. Look, I'm barely touching this. Look. Probably want a little more of that there. That's better. I hope you guys enjoyed this painting. And I hope I showed you how to do this. Like I said, if you're in the Northwest or anywhere that you see these whales, try this painting. You'll enjoy it. How was that better? There's one thing over here I want to do. There's a nice little, see, the water's not perfect. I'm trying to make it perfect by making it horizontal, but it isn't. It's got a lot of little nuances in it, little designs that are not perfect. And I'm trying to be perfect. That's not a good thing. There, let your hand go. Bill Alexander used to play so well on TV. He would put all these lines and things in, but they weren't exactly perfect, but they made everything look realistic. Remember that, you guys. All right, do we think we're done? I think we're done. I think we got her. Love to do this painting for you guys. You know, you can keep going, then maybe all of a sudden you wish you did something you didn't want to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this painting. I'm going to grab a liner brush if I can find one. And I'm going to sign this one. Check your liner brush, nice and soft at the end. Medium, Alexander Clear, drop it down in here. And I think I'll sign it in a light color. Let's try it right here. Anderson. A long name. A little bit more, got to get a little bit more. Do this, you guys. If you have your medium, it thins your paint down like this. You can do on the back of the whale, you could use your liner brush and do little dots like that too. So here we go with the name. Anderson. Very common name. But what are you going to do? Now, let me just do this as long as I got the brush in my hand. And I said that, I might as well show you. Take your liner brush and go like this if you want. Just do little tiny dots like this. Look, sometimes the little fine details really get people to buy your work. And I'm going to tell you something. I did a lot of details like that in my paintings. Might even want to fix this now that I saw it. Well, we did it, you guys. A nice, quick one, fun, easy painting. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Reaching for the Stars. This is Alexander Art, the home of Bill Alexander. Thanks for watching us. We really appreciate you watching us all the time and then making nice ups or downs. You know, if you like it, do that. If you don't like it, do that. You know, most people like it. So hopefully we're giving you technique and stuff like that. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.